Everyone. Welcome to the Temple University School of Pharmacy Class of 2020 Virtual Graduation Celebration. Congratulations to you, our graduates, and to your families and loved ones. Today is the day we've all been looking forward to. It's a day of joy, a day of celebration, a day that marks an important milestone in your life. You worked really hard for 4 years for this day. As you may know, this is also an important day for me. This is my first graduation celebration as a dean. I realize that this is not the celebration that you were looking for or you had in mind when you joined the pharmacy school 4 years ago. And to be honest, neither did I 8 weeks ago. I hope to have a more formal, regular in-person graduation once we are allowed to do so. Now, today is also a day for reflection. The world has changed and is continuing to change right in front of our eyes. Our way of life, the places where we go to school, to play, and to work, and how we interact with others may not be what they were just a few weeks ago. Many of you have shared with us your fears during the weekly surveys. Some of you were worried about the health of your family members, while others feared failing in exams and not graduating on time. Some of you have spent these past 8 weeks in isolation. Despite these overwhelming challenges and the fear of unknown, you've succeeded. You're here. You have reached your goal of graduating. The challenges you and I face today remain, but there is hope. To quote Maya Angelou, no sun outlasted sunset, but will rise again and bring the dawn. Now, as you reflect on your role in the society and why you wanted to become a pharmacist or a pharmaceutical scientist, I am sure you will realize that your desire to help others and make a positive impact on your community, city, state, and the country has not changed. I assure you, our commitment to support you in your quest to make a positive difference remains stronger than ever. I am proud that many of you will be heading to the front lines of the fight against COVID-19 infection right after you graduate. Now, I want to thank all of you for teaching me what it means to be a part of the Temple University School of Pharmacy family. Since November, you've given generously of your time to welcome and orient me. Now, there is no other place I would rather be than here in my house, congratulating all of you. So it's now time to welcome our keynote speaker, Martin van Trieste, pharmacy class of 1983. Today, Martin is joining us from Florida. He also plans to serve as our official commencement speaker at our in-person ceremony to occur at the Temple Performing Arts Center at a date when, like I said, when we are allowed to do so. Martin is a CEO and founder of Civica RX, a nonprofit organization that is actively working to reduce the United States' reliance on overseas sources of medications, an initiative that is now more important than ever. Martin came out of retirement from a 35+ year career in the pharmaceutical industry, so he could run Civica RX. His previous role was as a senior vice president of quality at Amgen. He's also held leadership roles in quality, operations, compliance, and research for both Bayer and Abbott. A number of organizations have recognized Martin for his substantial contributions to the pharmaceutical industry. In 2019, Martin was number 37 on Modern Healthcare's list of 100 most influential people in healthcare. The Medicine Maker named him one of the most influential people in the world of drug development and manufacturing in the years 2016, 17, and 18. Martin embodies what it means to be Temple made, to take on some of the most complex responsibilities readily and graciously. Martin, thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Jack. Good afternoon. I want to thank the dean, faculty, parents, and graduates for allowing me to be your commencement speaker. I am humbled and honored to be with you today, although remotely. I believe you're at the best pharmacy school in the country. 36 years ago, I was at my graduation from this great institution. I was nervous. There was uncertainty about the future. when I graduated. The unemployment rate was 13.6%. Interest for a car loan was 21%, and the mortgage interest rate was at 13%. As we know today, we are experiencing difficult times due to the pandemic. Today's unemployment rate has not been seen since the Great Depression. I can't imagine the challenges you must be thinking about. Hospitals are closing and laying off staff at an alarming rate. Being on the front line treating COVID patients, dealing with many patients who are unemployed and uninsured, and dealing with the patient consequences related to far too many drug shortages. Let's start with 3 simple stories that you can keep in mind as you deal with these challenges, pursue your careers, and personal fulfillment. The first is about taking chances. I grew up in Philly in a blue-collar family with an electrician as my father and a stay-at-home mom. My entire life, I either wanted to be a professional baseball player or an electrician. I never thought about going to college or even being a pharmacist. During my senior year of high school, my father said to me, "Son, you will go to college." The high unemployment rate at that time had my dad believing that the construction industry was dead and I had no future as an electrician. This led to a major argument between us that almost came to blows. I thought he was crazy. I did not prepare or study to attend college, so my grades simply sucked. My highest SAT score was pitiful. Luckily, and with fear, I applied for college. I must have conveyed that I had something to offer because Temple took a chance on me, which I will never forget. With that new beginning, I went from street kid to CEO. I also met my wife because of that new beginning. We were National Pharmaceutical Council interns together at Abbott Laboratories in the summer of '82. Cynthia was a pharmacy student from the University of Tennessee. From the first moment I saw Cynthia, I said I was going to marry her. Just in case you're skeptical, the next day, I sent a letter to my father stating I just met my future wife. Since my father's death, Cynthia still has that letter. At the end of a 12-week internship, I decided to take my first big chance in life. I asked Cynthia to marry me. And today I have a beautiful wife of 36 years with 3 successful daughters. Likewise, that same year in December, I called a gentleman named Stan Serlick at Abbott to wish him happy holidays. Stan was the manager of the Abbott pilot plant, a graduate of Philadelphia College of Pharmacy, and an active participant with the NPC interns. During that call, he asked if I was interested in a job at Abbott. I said I was only applying for jobs in the Philadelphia area. Stan insisted that I send him my resume. So I took another chance and I sent Stan my resume, knowing that I would have to move away with my family, from my family. After the holidays, I was called by Abbott to set up interviews. A few weeks later, I had a job. These 3 chances that occurred early in my life helped me realize that taking calculated risks are essential for success in life and business. The second story is about connecting the dots. Steve Jobs stated at a Stanford commencement speech, "You cannot connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards." This approach has never let me down, and it has made all the difference in my life, unquote. Steve then told a story about his adoption and how his birth mother was a grad student and insisted that his adopted working class parents send Steve to college. 17 years later, Steve unwisely chose an expensive college. After 6 months, he couldn't see the value in it. He was wasting his parents' hard-earned money. So Steve dropped out of college, but stayed around for a while, dropping in on classes that he would never have taken. One of these classes was calligraphy, where he learned about the beauty of typefaces, fonts, and letter spacing. None of this had any practical application in his life. But 10 years later, when he was designing the first Macintosh, he designed all he had into the Mac. It was the first computer with beautiful typography. And since Windows just copied everything from the Mac, all computers today have beautiful typography. Of course, it was impossible to connect the dots looking forward when Steve was in college, but it was clear looking backwards years later. During a performance review, one of my managers told me that I connected the dots better than anyone. What I did was to draw on the past, and not just my past. Every morning, I spend at least an hour reading industry news, current events, trends, what others were doing. Then, as situations arise, I draw on that information, my experiences, my gut feelings, and intuition to formulate a plan. I attribute much of my success, especially with new situations and challenges, because I can connect the dots. Finally, I have to stress that you always need a devil's advocate. Everyone believes that their idea will be successful, but they never ask, what if I'm wrong? What are the unintended consequences of that? I am a very decisive individual. And from my previous stories, you know that I'm comfortable taking chances, and that I have been fortunate in my life. But there was a time when I learned the hard way to use a devil's advocate. When I was in manufacturing, I had to make a sensitive, significant, critical decision. While manufacturing a batch, something went terribly wrong, and a quick course correction was required, depending entirely on instinct and without connecting the dots, because I did not have the knowledge or experience to make those connections. And without seeking input from others, I made a horrible decision, and a $1 million batch had to be destroyed. The next day, my boss requested to see me. All I could think was how could I tell my young bride that I dragged to Chicago that I was now unemployed? Nervous, sweating, and trying not to lose my lunch, my boss asked, what happened? I explained what happened, what we did, and stated that I made a bad decision. He asked if I learned anything. I explained what I learned. He nodded his head, and I said it would never happen again. He then asked if there was anything else. And I responded hesitantly, are you going to fire me? He replied, why would I fire you? I just spent $1 million training you. As you start your professional lives, facing some of the most significant challenges in our lifetime, Remember to use an arsenal of tools at your disposal. Pick the right tools for the job. Remember not to be afraid of taking chances. Try to connect the dots. And please use a devil's advocate. Thank you again for inviting me to join you on this special day. I want to close by congratulating the graduating class of 2020 from entering one of the most trusted professions in the world. You worked hard to get here. I know I speak for many when I thank you in advance for the contributions you will make in the future. Godspeed and thank you.
Thank you, Martin. Before I begin the presentation of the graduates, I just want to say a few words. I know that many of you in this class have overcome personal tragedies and challenges, none the least of which is the current global situation. Yet, you have transcended all of these and are now about to become the new wave of healthcare providers in a time nobody could have imagined. You have the tools, and I know you will always make us proud as you carry on the Temple tradition. It was my pleasure and honor to be part of your journey. Finally, I want to thank the staff at the school who put this all together in record time. Katie Batista, Haley Ashby, Jason Burwell, and Marilyn Meisler. I know all of you are gathered with family and friends virtually or perhaps together. And it's at this time I want everybody to remember, none of you got here alone. You all got here on the shoulders of your forefathers, your mothers, your fathers, your grandfathers, your parents, significant others, brothers and sisters. So it's time to give them a hand, a virtual hand right now. These are unprecedented times, and as I read the names, they may be pronounced in unprecedented ways. You all think learning how to pronounce mycoplasma, glycogen phosphorylase, alanine transaminase, or any of the monoclonal antibodies in the new biologics was difficult. Let me tell you, it's nothing compared to reading this list. So please forgive my mistakes, and I'd like to begin the process right now. Thank you. Dr. Peng Jiang Chen, Doctor of Philosophy. Dr. Elizabeth Hewitt, Doctor of Philosophy. Dr. Kimberly Holt, Doctor of Philosophy. Dr. Shi Luan, Doctor of Philosophy. Dr. D. Wu, Doctor of Philosophy. Yifan Gong, Master of Science in Pharmaceutical Sciences. And now for the PharmD Doctor of Pharmacy degrees. Dr. Shahad Abdallah. Dr. Sheila Achayo. Dr. Kendra Adams. Dr. Raphael Agbor Ino. Dr. Juala Alex. Dr. Ilijana Amzovitsky. Dr. Tesfaun Angaso. Dr. Badia Asfat. Dr. Jamie Axelrod. Dr. Olivia Calabaro. Dr. Daniel Chang. Dr. Andrew Chen. Dr. Ivy Chen. Dr. Van Chung. Dr. Alphonse Kobina, Dr. Nicole Chochia, Dr. Joseph Contessa, Dr. Anthony Corey III, Dr. Shala Crudup, Dr. Jasbir Diol, Dr. Megan Devani, Dr. Lan An Do, Dr. Michael Dwan, Dr. Iva Duraku, Dr. Luya Aid, Dr. Amanda Ellismar, Dr. Samuel Iwusi, Dr. Justin Fenton, Dr. Matthew Foster, Dr. Brian Galson, Dr. Nancy Garofalo, Dr. Vanessa Lopez, Dr. Vaishnavi Gopalakrishnan, Dr. Unadi Hajari, Dr. Jessica Hall, Dr. Shamika Heber, Dr. Megan Henry, Dr. William Huang, Dr. Christopher Iacano, Dr. Aisha Iqbal, Dr. Urena Jerry Alagalabaso, Dr. Cindy Joe, Dr. Deidre Khan, Dr. Lindsay Kelly, Dr. Jacqueline Kesselman, Dr. Huin Kim, Dr. Kenneth Kim, Dr. Yoonji Kim, Dr. Michelle Kranak, Dr. Caitlin Cross, Dr. Lydia Lamb, Dr. Victoria Lang, Dr. Jonathan Lappin, Dr. Jean Lee, Dr. Mai Lee, Dr. Dana Lee, Dr. Eugene Lee, Dr. Rosa Lee, Dr. Sarah Lee, Dr. Stephen Lee, Dr. Justin Lang, Dr. Taylor Lentz, Dr. Hui Luang, Dr. Wayne Liang, Dr. Nu Lu, Dr. Alan Lai, Dr. Deep Majumundar, Dr. Anastasia Melanchuk, Dr. Julie Mark, Dr. Akili Martin, Dr. Lauren McDaniel, Dr. Robert McMaster, Dr. Christina Melito, Dr. Matthew McHale, Dr. Siari Masaki, Dr. Julius Nubumbe, Dr. Timothy Neen, Dr. Khoi Nguyen, Dr. Michael Nguyen, Dr. Tan Nguyen, Dr. Tom Nguyen, Dr. Shauna Nunes, Dr. Kingsley Nuogo, Dr. Barbara O'Hary, Dr. Andrew Peck, Dr. Tina Paris, Dr. Devanshi Patel, Dr. Prit Patel, Dr. Sheel Patel, Dr. Vishnu Patel, Manish, sorry, Dr. Golda Pesakova, Dr. Alexandros Pitsakis, Dr. Salahin Qazi, Dr. Mohammed Rahman, Dr. Rohit Reddy, Dr. Monsung Sunny Rowe, Dr. Leah Rodriguez, Dr. Joshua Ruane, Dr. Roya Rudy, Dr. An Sam, Dr. Andrea Sampson, Dr. Alex Savchuk, Dr. Fode Sayan, Dr. Carl Schaff, Dr. Mohammed Samadi, Dr. Krishna Shah, Dr. Jenny Shi, Dr. Allison Shofran, Dr. Alyssa Snyder, Dr. Jessica Spiller, Dr. Christopher Stauffer, Dr. Jeremiah Subramani, Dr. Paul Sesniak, Dr. Loretta Takua Mensah, Dr. Alexander Taramina, Dr. Don Tatch, Dr. Daniel Thai, Dr. Anthony Talkman, Dr. Alua Stephanie Tonade, Dr. Eliza Totsky, Dr. Juan Tai Tram, Dr. Vatsal Chavadi, Dr. Jacqueline Bombulo, Dr. Tammy Wang, Dr. Brian Whitlinger, Dr. Maren Wojer, Dr. Zizhu Ji, Dr. Marina Youssef, Dr. Sabina Zamanova, Dr. Shansan Zhang, Dr. Linda Zhang, Dr. Samantha Zlak, and your class advisor, Dr. Wayne Childers. Sorry for my mistakes and congratulations to the class of 2020.
Thank you, Dr. Borenstein, and Katie, and Haley, and Marilyn, and Dr. Panyam for allowing me to be here today. Class of 2020, the day has finally come. After the last 4 incredible years together, when some of us became mother and father, some of us took our first legal drinks, we grieved together, learned that urea is not made in the kidney. The Eagles took home our first ever Super Bowl win, and now the world is experiencing this unprecedented pandemic. Despite all that, and through all that, we are all together right now, right where we first started together, which is celebrating the commencement or the beginning of our new exciting chapters. If you haven't done so yet, and if it's possible, I want you to hug your family and friends right now, just for no other reason that they're safe and healthy and that they're here to celebrate with us, because as much as we'd like to think that this day is all about us, it's actually their day also, and we wouldn't be here today without their love and support. Class of 2020, my message to you is simple: go forward with love. Go proudly, go confidently, with love for yourself and others. Remember and appreciate where you came from, how much our predecessors have fought for our right to be here, and how much we still need to do to better our society and our profession. Remember that you will always represent something much bigger than yourself, so carry yourself with honesty, dignity, humility, and love. Treat others with kindness and respect as you would want to be treated with, and starting with this clean slate from this day forward as doctors of pharmacy, know that the one thing that will truly make you shine will be the love and the passion and the compassion that you radiate from within. So thank you faculty and staff, thank you friends and family, thank you class of 2020. After the last 4 incredible years, I have absolutely no doubt that professionally, you'll achieve anything and every amazing thing. So please go forward with love. Good luck class of 2020 and congratulations. Now, it's my pleasure and honor to introduce Marvin Mandel, the president of the Alumni Association, who will say a few words and lead us in the reciting of the Oath of the Pharmacist.
Thank you, Sunny. Good afternoon. I am Marvin Mandel, president of the School of Pharmacy Alumni Association. Congratulations to the class of 2020. Even though the last couple of months of your pharmacy education were spent under the most unusual conditions, you have graduated and are now a pharmacist. For decades, pharmacy has been the most trusted profession. And now in these times of pandemic, healthcare in general, including pharmacy, is recognized as one of the most respected careers. People everywhere are showing their appreciation. You could be proud of your chosen profession, and you could be just as proud of the university at which you chose to receive your education. Temple University has one of the best schools of pharmacy in the country, and for many years has had above average NAPLEX pass rates. Again, be proud, be Temple proud. You are also now and always will be a member of the School of Pharmacy Alumni Association. The association supports the school, provides networking and professional support, and is like a big family. Many of you will find that the association is a valuable resource and will want to give back to the university by being active in it. You are invited to attend the meetings of the board of directors. The next meeting will be on May 20th on Zoom. If you would like a link to the meeting or more information about the association, please contact Katie Batista. I look forward to seeing you on May 20th or at a future meeting. Until then, take care and stay well. I will now lead you in the recitation of the pharmacist's oath. I promise to devote myself to a lifetime of service to others through the profession of pharmacy in fulfilling this vow. I will consider the welfare of humanity and relief of suffering my primary concerns. I will apply my knowledge, experience, and skills to the best of my ability to assure optimal outcomes for my patients. I will respect and protect all personal and health information entrusted to me. I will accept the lifelong obligation to improve my professional knowledge and competence. I will hold myself and my colleagues to the highest principles of our profession's moral, ethical, and legal conduct. I will embrace and advocate changes that improve patient care. I will utilize my knowledge, skills, experiences, and values to prepare the next generation of pharmacists. I take these vows voluntarily with the full realization of the responsibility with which I am entrusted by the public. I would now like to introduce Alyssa Snyder, Valedictorian and Class Vice President.
Thank you, Marvin. Good afternoon, Dean Panyam, administration, faculty, friends and family, and of course, my fellow classmates. I'm so grateful that today we are able to gather virtually and celebrate the outstanding hard work and accomplishments of the Temple University School of Pharmacy Class of 2020. On behalf of our class, I'd like to thank Katie, Haley, Jason, and Marilyn for putting this special event together. It means more to us than we can possibly express. And to our incredible faculty and administration who made true miracles happen for us to complete our rotations virtually and graduate on time, we are incredibly thankful. Your undying dedication to your students is why we are here today. And while I'll save my valedictory speech for our postponed in-person ceremony, I did want to take this opportunity to say just a few words to my classmates, as I know several of us have accepted incredible positions all over the country, and it's uncertain when we will all meet again. During these trying times, I think we are all seeking inspiration, something to ignite us, something to keep us pushing forward, even when the world has come to a standstill. Today, I am utterly inspired by reflecting back on all we have accomplished as a class. In these 4 years that flew by, we have worked harder than we ever thought we could. We have overcome challenges we thought were impossible. We have made countless sacrifices, but we've made lifelong friends in the process. We will continue to be faced with challenges, as many of us will dive into the thick of the COVID-19 battle while navigating a rapid transition from student to pharmacist. But I am confident that the top-notch education and training that we have received at TUSP has prepared us for anything that comes our way. Lastly, I just want to congratulate you all on this incredible accomplishment. I am so proud of all of us, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing, hearing, and even reading about all of the incredible things you go on to do in your future careers. Best of luck to the class of 20. Stay safe and healthy. Thank you. I'll turn it back over to Dean Panyam to conclude our ceremony.
Thank you, Alyssa. Congratulations once again, class of 2020. I would like to thank Martin Van Trieste for his excellent advice to our new graduates. I would also like to thank Dr. Borenstein for delivering a flawless list of names of our graduates. Thank you, Dr. Sunny Rowe and Dr. Alyssa Snyder for your contributions to this ceremony. Thank you, Marvin Mandel, for delivering the pharmacist oath. Also special thanks to the people who organized this, Katie, Haley, Marilyn, Jason, Scotia, and so many others who have contributed. So to the students, and to the, you're not students anymore, so to the graduates, as you start your new chapter in your life, I want to once again remind you that you'll always be an important part of this TUSP family. So don't be a stranger. Please let us know how you're doing and visit us whenever you can. For all of you, this concludes the formal portion of today's events. Please stay back to enjoy some pictures and memorable quotes from our graduates, followed by the PharmD reception. I want to thank all of you for being here. Have a good rest of the day.